Hope you guys are ready to have a howling good time today, because I'm telling you, I'm already having a ball. Oh Lord, she coming. Oh Lord, she loves her ball. Go get it. So welcome everyone to my fourth Hound Raiser video here on this channel. Let's see, we did the announcement one, I did a proxy fight, we included them in the set breakdown. Make sure you check out one of those up above. But you guys already know how much I love my doggo deck. Literally the second that they announced it started in Japan. Just tonight, nothing else, just this part right here. I literally pre-ordered 4 Saragons that exact second. It's just so aborkable. I mean, look, this is just giving a Coney. But you guys don't want to hear me talk about skills again for like the 34th time. So today, we're actually going to take you over to camera number 2 and do a deck breakdown. Because in the first like 2 or 3 weeks, however long it's been since the set's been out, I've been basically playing this deck non-stop at my 3 different locals. And let's just say that we're up to about a 2/3 win percentage with it. And so I want to show you guys just what the sauce is, a little bit more about how the deck flows, and then maybe a couple more texts if you guys want to stick around. So. Dog noise, bark bark, woof woof. I swear I had some more dog puns in here. I just, God, it's early. I need to stop recording intros first thing in the morning. Bow bow. Oh, right then. It's time to get the only map that we could legally use for this deck. Well, officially anyways. Although, can we get a bigger one for Garmer, please, now? Or Coney or something. This is literally, look at the sizes compared to normal size mat, which once again, shout out to Joker Inc. for making this awesome mat. I can't wait to show off a new awesome mat that he is working on, which will feature a card that we'll talk about in about 2 seconds. But until then, we are using the second best paladin that's not Blaster Blade. So this is actually my alpha build, not the one that I came up with after a couple weeks of testing, because this is the one that actually has gone pretty well in tournaments. Turns out that the more I've deviated, the less good it's done, so show us some of the text attack, but here is the basics that you need to know. Real quick refresher on the ride line, our starter does not matter, so the answer is always Wingal Brave. This guy lets you check your top 7 for your doggo. This is the avatar, that's all you need to know about. And, of course, I need to pick up more frame wares, so if you want to help support me on the channel so I can correctly pimp out this deck, make sure to check out my page on TCG Player or drop me a tip on Ko-Fi. The ride line in whole is super plussy. The fact that it's to be Mario is basically going to let you check your top 7 for a doggo to call. Then when Hakuren is rode upon, you're once again able to check top 7, but this time for a Hound Raiser unit, like all 3 of them. Not to mention Hakuren refunding himself as if you whiff, he just calls himself right back out, and he Soul Charge 1 to replace himself in Soul. Which is great because, see that right there, Soul Blast 2. I would need a lot of Soul. Of course, speaking of Akane 2.0, why would we not run 3 Persona rides? You just do that. Real quick refresher, in addition to being able to call cards out of the deck once per turn, you're also able to buff all your high beasts constantly and give one the ability to attack like a Graham Grace. Or Undercover, I guess. But let's be real here. That's the one we care about. Very solid unit. Your basic strat is basically to have 4 attacks in a turn, including 3 drive checks, given that she gives you a drive check once your opponent's grade 3. And you will be hitting pretty big numbers between her own buff and the buff of several units that we run this deck. The only big downside I can see of this is her effect being a Soul Blast 2. Once again, by the time you ride this grade 3, you'll have 3 cards in your ride line, which is 1 activation. Then you'll have to Persona ride again in order to get a second, which seems a little mid considering that you do want to constantly be activating your Vanguard's main skill, obviously. But this deck does provide quite a few other ways to superior call and fill up souls, so don't worry about it, just you're good. Of course, Hakuren's on ride ability does let you call out other Hound Raisers, so let's take a look at some of your other Hound Raising friends. First thing that makes my build a little different than what you probably have seen online. Oh, you were 2 of this guy. Well, Saishin is a very powerful unit and has like one of the best augurs. Look at this good boy. Look at this good boy right here. This is the goodest one. He is effectively a really good utility card. He has an on-attack ability that lets you gain some power and then energy blast if your opponent's grade 3 to gain a crit. Huge pressure. I mean, you can basically run your opponent to 4 damage very early on and then just sit there and say, okay, do you want to take this? Do you want to take this? Do you want to take this? Eventually you'll take this and you will die. But honestly, I like him in here more for this first skill. The fact that while he's in the front row, all your high beasts in the back get the ability to intercept from the back. Super good. Obviously, the whole point of this deck is just to have a bunch of high beasts in the back row. So this is a thing. And because of that, I will mention a thing real quick. I was going to go triggers at the end, but you forced my hand, everyone. Look at this. You'll see the thing down there that says high beast. You could feel the trigger behind him. Be like, hey dog, I'm still swinging for effectively +5/+5. That's a 28k column for no reason. By the way, you have a 15k interceptor just chilling on the board. Only run 2 in here because space is unfortunately a little light, but I have seen other builds forego some of the decks that we're going to go over in a second to run a full copy of 4. So my later builds I've been running 3. You could run them at 3 or 4 if you want to. Something you absolutely have to run 4 of is your girl Mishiro. Look at this. This is why we named it High Rarity. I have 1 silver, 1 frame, and the other 2 are just not that. Just like her big sis, she's able to call a high beast out of your deck for the tune of a counterblast 1 and check top 7. This time, if you whiff, that's cool, you get your counterblast right back, so the effect is effectively free. And in addition to that, she helps fill up Aui's soul with her on attack ability, letting you soul charge 1 when she's boosted by a doggy, and then if your opponent happens to be grade 3 or greater. Hey, guess what? You get plus 10. That's another huge attacker on this girl. I do want a ruling down below, so what up, judges? I see a period here in the middle. I think the soul charge is optional. Correct me if you're wrong, I have been playing it with the soul charge being mandatory just to be safe. If not, even better, because you don't need to worry about your soul. You don't need to worry about your soul, just swing with the 20. Any 8k booster will automatically be a 13k booster off of the effect of Aoi. So some very basic math, 20 plus 13 equals 33 for absolutely no reason. Or maybe a soul charge one, I'm not sure. Either way, very good girl, very nice utility. I need 2 more shiny ones, but not the best Hound Raiser of the pack. That honor goes, of course, to the Avatar, which I've run a full freaking playset of, which is definitely something that I've not seen anyone else do online yet, so. Here's tech number 2. What makes Hakuren so good isn't not necessarily his on-ride skill, but also his second ability for rear guard. When he is boosted by a high beast, choose a high beast normal from your drop, put into the bottom of the deck. This lets you recur. This lets you run sacrificial doggos. Obviously in like 2 seconds I'll say the word Saragon, but there's another one here that I'll also use. Recursion is great. I have won actually a couple of games that I thought I was going to deck out just by fielding one of these guys, popping something back in the deck, so they have more cards in the deck. I don't need to worry about decking anymore. I can see maybe running as a 2 or 3 copies if you need to rephrase something else, but honestly, full playset's fine. One of the biggest things I've been woofing is his on-ride skill, the fact that you need to call a Hound Raiser at that top 7. This is all you got for Hound Raisers wise. I mean, we'll get another one next set, but until then, this is all you get for Houndy Hounds. Run as many copies as you want, but the more that you have here, the more likely you are to hit it in your top 7 check. Of course, what is the Hound Raiser deck without its hounds? You just saw them 2 seconds ago. We have Melangon. Bushroad, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry at this name change. It used to be Melangon, and I had like 20 different heads with him, with Melon on his head. 3 copies right now. I think this is one of those decks that because of recursion, because of your searchability, you're fine running 3 copies of things unless it's absolutely necessary. This good boy's got 2 different skills. First of all, on place, you get the choice of a soul charge or an energy charge. Great resource management, just figure out how you want to run. But more importantly, he is a beady puppy, and the fact that it gets +5 when it's in the back row. If it's a back row center behind your girl, is also getting another +5, making it a 10k, making it an 18k, making it 23k. Don't forget that you do get a drive check on top of this, so 23 with a drive. Your opponent's likely guarding at least a trigger on top of that, if not 2 extra cards. In order to hit that +33 threshold that you need to overguard a trigger, or just a trigger saying, I dare you to hit me. Really good pressure. Not the bestest dog, because that goal, of course, goes to Coney Island. This is the beady boy of the deck and the resource management of the deck. Absolutely vital that you hit these. What's not quite as vital, but equally as good, is the not quite my tech, but thing I've seen all the smart people do, including myself. Once again, we're running 3 copies instead of 4. If you want to make room for a 4th, go for it. I guess that's one thing, so you cut extra Hakuren down for, whatever. This undercover kitty says that at the end of the battle, boosted Energy Blast 2, put it back in your hand. This is one of the reasons I'm unsure about the extra copies of this, just because your energy is going to be going between this and this for the most part, other than just your energy draws and your other cycle things. That said, really, really good. This is another thing that eats itself out of the way because, you know, control decks or whatever, Bob Cigar is huge right now. You could put it behind Hakuren and go meow meow, do your combo, put it back in hand. Or one of the cool things that everyone's gonna be doing, Ayo, swing 13 with a drive check, resance, swing 36 with twin drive, Energy Blast 2, put this back in hand. So really good there. Great because his second skill actually works out for shield. Look at that, it's a shield icon. Basically, once placed in guard, you can choose another undercover card, put it on the bottom of your deck, and it gets +5 shield. This is one of your biggest things for Ride Line, in that you'll just like ditch one of these turn 1, 2, or 3, have one in drop zone. Oh hey, now I'm on a guard. Meow. Skill hustle. Meow. Bottom deck, that thing gets +5 shields. You have a 10k shield. Congratulations. Don't forget, you can also intercept from board too, so you can just have it chilling if you don't want to use Energy Blast. Boom, 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 10k interceptor. Don't worry about it. Once again, we only run 3 copies because, you know, pieces or whatever, but when you hit it, you hit it, and this is another thing that helps you prevent deck out at the top of the Hakuren. Next up, we're getting into what I'm calling Make Super Decisions Bushiroad, and that's because they decided to make 2 of the Keter staples into high beast grade 1s. First of all, Kitty Cat. topaz right here. This is your 20k shield. Remove cards from the ride line. Don't worry about it. Its other skill is better when it's placed. You could do the same thing. Get rid of 2 cards in your red deck. Check your top 5. Call 1 unit to the rear guards. Really? Really? Stupid. You want to see something cool? Hold on. Alright, so you're on your first grade 3 ride or whatever. Skill has Soul Blast these 2. Call the kitty somewhere. Maybe back here if you want to drive check. Maybe somewhere else if you're not on grade 3 yet. Doesn't matter. Oh, guess what? Remember those 2 cards you just Soul Blasted for your ride line? Blah, 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 blah. Check your top 5 again. Call a thing. I don't know. Maybe hit Mishiro. Oh, look, Mishiro skill. Check my top 5, call a thing. Congratulations, you just Soul Blasted 2 in order to call 3 units for literally no reason.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, I guess you kind of blasted 1 too, but that's literally no reason. The point is that this is hilarious and helps you feel this deck could easily swarm by committing very little. We run 2 copies in here just to make sure that we hit it. A couple times I've tested out only running 1 because, let's be real, you only need that and then you'll have it ready to put back in deck with the Hawk Commander. Just have it chill on field to use with Siren's ability to intercept. I just like to make sure I draw it. I guess here's the part where I talk about Saragon. No, this is the card. It's the Keter card, the Keter Pile. When it does the boost thing, if you have more rear guards, if you play in order, it gets +5, then you could retire it, check your top 2, add 1 to hand, 1 goes to the bottom. I mean, this was like insane already in most Keter decks. It's been choice strict in quite a few of them, and please, Bushiroad, never touch it in dogs. It deserves to stay in dogs. This is a dog. It deserves to be in a dog deck. Oh, Hakuren is my bro. So we do this. We're like, haha, swing 23, or I guess it's gonna be 28, because don't forget it gets some power. Put a thing back in deck. So you've got no way to chill and drop zone. Guess where it is now. Now we activate. Haha, check your top 2, add a thing to the hand. Plus City. Once again, gets out of the way for sake of control and is a great thing to be shown out behind the vanguard. Swing 13, swing 31, not quite as impressive as the other dog, but I mean, if you're playing into like Bob Cigar or Link Joker or something, you'd rather do this because he gets himself out of the way afterwards. Saragon's good. Bushiroad, I swear, like, touch and Raziel, make sure it's not lure, make sure it's not I swear. Keep it in Doggos, please. That's all I want. Well, that and I guess a Garmore encounter or some Akane because it's... Then speaking of Keter Pile, our last unit that's not a perfect guard, 3 Meniscus. This is our other main use of energy for the deck. You could also Counterblast for her, which... Take your pick. This is CB1. This is CB1, but refunds itself. Really, the fact that you're able to pick your poison makes these things great. This is one of my favorite versions of the Cycler Grade 2s, and this one has a pretty nice little ability in that when it's played on Persona Ride turn, check your top 3, add 1 to hand, or call 1 if it's your main phase. It's always going to be main phase. You don't call it in battle phase. Then put the rest on bottom of the deck. So you effectively say, I'm going to scry 3, pure call 1, or add 1 to hand. This is great because you could just like scry out a perfect card to hand. You can be like, oh hey, there's a Saragon top 3 or whatever. Don't worry about it. Once again, this is board flooding, and if you don't see anything cool, well, look at this critical trigger I found on top of the deck. There it is. And we take 2 other cards and put them on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, this is good. And draw a card during their turn for the ride phase or for guarding or whatever. Also very good. I mean, it's very good. I'm very happy I have a full playset, but I think we really only have room for 3 of them in the deck. Perfect guards. Cool. Sync with the orders. This is Rial's piece of choice for the deck. It's a very diverse tool, being resource management that can either go back and soul and give you counter charge, which basically refunds her ability completely. Well, I mean, -1 soul, but it basically refunds her ability completely. Or if you're set up on everything, you just gotta make sure you're ready to guard against them, you could draw 2 cards. Really solid. I'd say probably the other big option is gonna be the ladder, because once again, control or whatever, if you're afraid of it, also goes and soul this to draw cards. So it's like a mini version of the 2 skills combined. But I mean, I just like covered a little bit better. I'll take your pick on 2, but I just like this a little bit better because it's a little bit more diverse. And like I said, I run a lot of great ones that eat themselves out of the way, so you don't need to worry about control. Then before we talk about triggers, because yes, they do matter in here, 2 copies of this. The Bark order. We're running because the Bark order. Look at these dogs. Look at them. It's a sleepy boy and into Yon Yon. The Energy Blast 2 once again, so another use of energy, which is why I only run 2 copies of it, because your energy is surprisingly tight in this deck. However, it says you choose 2 things, given the red text that when they're boosted, you get +10, and then if you have field, draw a card. Obviously, between all your cycling skills, it's extremely easy to fill up a board, so getting that 5 out of nothing means literally nothing for you. Drawing cards is always nice, and numbers, I mean, let's look at these random columns I set up. So we got 18 plus 5 plus 5 is 28, plus another 10, 38 for free. Then we got 18 plus 5 plus 10, 33, 43 for free. That's a 38, 43 for Energy Blast 2 by doing literally nothing on top of any of your other cool skills that you're activated. And don't forget, just forgot to put a card here. You should have a 4th attack and be boosting for another drive check or whatever. Really solid. We only run 2 because there's only space for 2. But I mean, I guess if you don't care about your Viscottis, kaboom. If you don't care about your extra copies of this, kaboom. You should care about your extra copies of this. This is low-key one of the best cards in the deck. So let's talk triggers. We're on critical trigger. We're on a front trigger. Do you see something on these 2 triggers? I already showed you on this one. He's also a high beast. I mean, look, it's a doggo. It's a very good doggo. Well, drops might seem better than fronts in here just because you're able to affect your back row attacker that drove check it. I think that fronts are a little bit better in here just because, first of all, for more shield, we're running the generic ones in here on purpose. It is a high beast, which means it's a back row interceptor, which means it gets +5 off of her ability, which means I get a lot more utility than, oh no, I get 5 extra shield or whatever. I just think that the front's more important because while it may miss out on your 1 attack, boosting up your 3 front rows even further, that's the reason we ran that order. Big butt attacks. I think he could swing pretty reliably within the 40s and 50s with very little effort. We're only running 3 in here though, just because of that whole draw thing, because of the untargetability, and because crits are good. We just run a lot of crits. You just run a lot of crits. These ones matter a little bit because soul. 4 hills. This final card is the over trigger. This is where we're going to transition into suggestions. So I've mainly been running Little Boy Blue here. This is the one that lets you take a card from your drop zone and add right back into your hand. This is great for the sake of getting extra shield, for getting extra perfect guards, for getting extra persona rise you may have ditched, anything that your opponent may have retired to the front row that was basically otherwise untargetable. You can recycle, and that is a good thing. It puts the card in your hand, which is a good thing. It also gives you a critical trigger, so that's also kind of a good thing. Overall, that's 3 good things. I would consider running almost any other one as well, though. This white one I tested out for a couple tournaments pretty well. This is your burst draw. This is the one that says unless they drop a perfect guard, you're automatically killing off whatever they guard with. And this is a walking nuke. It lets you clear off the field and all the guardians. In addition to that, you draw a card for every 2 cards in the zones. 2 zones. You can draw a maximum of 4 cards off of this, basically. And this makes it great for early game, where if your opponent's just playing a Vanguard-centric strategy. It might not be as optimal as the other ones, but if you are a little afraid of hand advantage and want a little bit more control in a deck that otherwise doesn't retire things, this is the one for you. Honestly, you never thought you'd see it coming again. While Keter is ironically the one deck that you don't want to run the Nation Over trigger in because, you know, most of your stuff gets drive checks, even this deck has a drive checking unit in the back row. You still basically have a 4-attack deck in this, which means you get at minimum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these like normal units. 5 cards in hand is solid. JK 6 cards in hand. Don't forget you draw a card off the trigger getting revealed. This makes for a really good bursty attack, but the only problem with this is like make sure you have a feel this is played. So it's a little scary to see early on in the game, whereas something like this or this has utility. Additionally, I didn't want to pick them up from other decks, so shut up. Red and purple, always good. Extra attacks, always good. Purple you heal, always good. Once again, they both add an extra card to your hand and both give you an extra attack. It's just one of those decks where I'm not sure if you need that extra attack. You want your full column to be swing boosted, and if you're already playing on swing with that column, oh no, plus 10 bajillion is not going to do anything to you. I can see it. Mess around with it if you want to. I'd say like these are the 3 I prefer though. Honestly, even the generic one's funny here just because you give 2 rear guards plus 10 bajillion. Speaking of triggers though, once again, high beast. We have a second high beast front. If you do want to run 8 fronts, I wouldn't recommend it though because the whole, you want your back row to get the boost thing, which is why we have a high beast draw trigger as well. Then final 3 cards we're going over, we have the last doggo that you saw, Rasengan once again. Ragon. Why'd they change it? It was Rasengan, it was a Flame Naruto joke. This is your Battledore. This gives you a little extra shield, so it's a nice alternative if you can't afford to have 2 paths. Being that this is going to free up 2 cards from your opponent's hand when it attacks for 13. That's not as impressive as 23, but having extra shield is always nice for your various guarding abilities. Speaking of guard, Rainbow Man. I personally tested him out for like 1 tournament and then said, ha, no, because your soul matters a little bit. But I mean, if you want your 10k shield, there's your 10k shield. He also has a little bit of extra attack, which goes thematically with the deck being with big numbers for no reason. And the final card we are mentioning before I go back to the computer desk. It's this order. For the partner I entrust my life. Which once again, there's a doggy in here. That's how you know it's a good card. It's got a dog on it. And look at these people are so happy together. Grade 2 order. Once again, Soul Blast 1, which is the same reasoning. I'm not writing this over this as well. Look at your top 3 cards, choose up to 1 unit card, call it to rear, put the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. Gun cycle as an order. This does the same thing as your Persona Red skill, just top 3, call a thing, bomb deck the other 2. You need field filled? Very good. You should never have to worry about field filled, but these 2 serve the exact same purpose for that sake and order. Just one's Soul Blast, one's not Soul Blast. So that is how you play with your dogs. You take your frisbee, you throw your frisbee, maybe you play some rope tug of war, maybe a mature toy or something. Coney likes squeaky toys. She loves her squeakies. Dude, that's the best fucking part right there. Thank you, guest star Coney. I love you. But what do you all think? Make sure to comment your hot takes down below. I would love to keep on going with this series. And if you have any unique deck builds, feel free to post your deck codes or something. And if we get enough, I might do a breakdown video in the future. But speaking of future things, I have yet to talk about Set 8 for some ungodly reason because, oh my god. Make sure you're subscribed to see some stuff go live. I cannot wait to talk about Sybil. I can't wait to talk about the Nebula Knights. Freaking Kaiser, this is just the first Dimension Robo card that I had chilling out next to me. And as I record this, literally Birdman's about to go live and we're about to see Mr. Amusement Park. So, yeah, get hype. Literally the only reason I haven't posted anything for the set yet is I don't want to be bananas and just keep on posting different card breakdown videos. So I'm looking to get some guest stars and maybe some proxy fight stuff like that. Make sure you subscribe to see I go live because we are literally getting to the point where I might have to invest in the case. So if you want to help support me on this channel so I can afford a new cardboard, make sure to check out patreon.com/I don't have a Patreon, ko-fi.com/RayonSkyridge. It's basically the same thing. If you want to drop me a tip and like what I do, or if you want to pick up some of my cool cardboard that I don't use, check out my page on TCG Player. But until all this new stuff goes live, thank you for watching. As always, make sure to subscribe if you are new. And I gotta play with Coney now because all the toys we've been using through the intro and outro have made her in happy puppy mode. So, always embrace the infinite. Coney, come here.